Yo, fans, friends, and family, welcome back to the channel. Um, Today, I bring you guys the Week 2 battle of the GE. If you haven't seen it already, I recently uploaded my draft analysis video and my Week 1 battle as well to the channel, so if you haven't seen it, go check that out. But today we play our Week 2 opponent. And our week 2 opponent is none other than Evan. And if you haven't heard about Evan before, he is the co-commissioner who runs this league together with Lux. And yeah, Evan is like really experienced in the format. You can say he is a true veteran. I have seen him on multiple finals before. He's also featured in multiple videos of guys who, like me, upload draft lead content. So overall, a very tough opponent. He is 0-1. He wasn't really happy with the way how he played, and I'm sure he will just like try his hardest to get back in the race and try to defeat me. And of course, we will do our best to defeat the commissioner, because beating the commissioner is always a fun thing. Looking at his team, I have it here on the screen, on the paper. Our genius is holding in his hands. He doesn't hold the spoons every time. Sometimes he holds the strategy guide, and this week's strategy guide will show exactly how we are going to beat Evan. First up, his team. He drafted Landrestarian, which is probably one of the best Pokemon in the format, if not the best Pokemon. It can't hold Z crystals because Z crystals aren't a thing in Generation 6, but it's still really scary when it sets up. Mega Gardevoir, I have absolutely no switch-ins to Mega Gardevoir. Also, Pixelate isn't nerfed in Generation 6, so Mega Gardevoir hits like fucking crap. Infernape, a really versatile offensive monkey, annoying to deal with. Suicune, kind of the same case, a really annoying to deal with, is a fat setup bulky water. Really good at sweeping teams that aren't prepared for it. Roserade is always a tricky Pokemon to go up against. It can go really defensive. It can also go really offensive, so either way it will be tough to deal with. Bronzong, pretty passive yet effective walls versus certain typing, so that's a good Pokemon. Also, solid Stealth Rocker. Umbreon, kind of the same case, passive wall, but also very good at walling certain typings. Aerodactyl, blindingly fast, it gives him good utility in fast rocks, fast deep fog, and just overall a fast cleaner potentially. Magneton, kind of a more offensive approach for a steel type. Don't think is the best one on his roster, but it is able to trap steel types, which Mega Gardevoir can take advantage of, so that's something to keep in mind. Jordigun, really bulky dragon. It has a couple sets and a couple very good sets well at it. It's probably, if it comes, going to be some kind of Glare, Dragon Tail, Stealth Rock set, but yeah, always a Pokemon you have to prepare for. And the last two picks are Torkoal and Chinchino. Now, I don't want to disrespect those pokes, but I'm kind of going to do it anyway, because I think those were just like his leftover picks. He had some points left, and he was like, sure, let me grab those Pokemon. But yeah, enough rambling. This is his roster. I already talked about um, how I don't have any switch-ins to Mega Gardevoir and how strong and versatile some of his offensive Pokemons are. So this week we are going to have a very offensive approach. I don't think the defense is the way this week, especially considering Mega Gardevoir claims a kill every time it comes in. So let's hop into first Pokemon I'm bringing is Mamoswine. It's a very interesting set because I have actually a first set, Curse with Earthquake, Ice Shard, and Knockoff. It is able to take fully advantage of his most likely swap in, being the Bronzong with the Levitate. Doesn't really have any Pokemon that really deals with Mamoswine, because well, it's a Mamoswine, so no roster has like a really good switching, but Bronzong is probably the closest that comes to solid switching. And Bronzong will always utilize the Gyro Ball versus Mamoswine, or like, so I would like to think. If you don't know this, Gyro Ball is a move that gets powered up more if the Pokemon you're attacking is faster. What Curse does is not only will it raise my attack and defense stats, so I will take the hit better in general, it will also make my Mamoswine slower. So basically really neutralizing the Gyro Ball damage. And we're holding the weakness policy, so the Gyro Ball is also a super effective hit, even though it will only do about 18% to Mamoswine, which is like laughable. I will still be able to get a weakness policy boost off on top of my already cursed Mamoswine. The idea with this set is to save it for either late game or mid game, and either break him completely open or sweep his ass. That's basically what Mamoswine is designed to do this week. I only need to make sure I got Kip on a few Pokemon, and with the Ice Shard priority and +3 Adamant Mamoswine, it is able to clean out, so pretty excited about that. The second member I decided to bring is Latios, because Latios is really interesting this week because it does deal with a Calm Mind Suicune variant, and you always want to be prepared for a Calm Mind Suicune. So I bring Calm Mind of my own, and I'm bringing Calm Mind with Psyshock, so I can set up alongside with the Suicune and still hit the Suicune only on its defensive side instead of its special defensive side. So Latios will basically always be able to beat Suicune. The moves I'm running is Shadow Ball, Psyshock, Calm Mind, and Roost. I'm running the Shadow Ball because with the Life Orb, after I boost up +1, I am able to one-hit KO a non-bulky invested Mega Gardevoir, and I will also be able to deal with the Bronzong a lot better. I am aware that I'm walled by Umbreon at this point, but my other team members, which will follow soon, will take full advantage on Umbreon and try to cripple it. And if he doesn't bring Umbreon, this Latios is really fucking good versus his team. Next Pokemon I'm bringing is General of Justice, my Cobalion. It's a pretty interesting set as well this week. It is able to capitalize on the Umbreon if it comes, and it is also able to catch him off guard potentially, and also sweep his team. It's an interesting set because with my speed tiers and his speed tiers, I'm expecting him to either bring Aerodactyl for speed control, and if Aerodactyl doesn't show up, he will most likely have a Scarfer. And I am guessing this Scarfer will be Landorus because it overall has a very easy time clicking U-turn and Earthquake versus my team. What this Cobalion does, it has the Magnet Rise, so basically I will put myself off the ground being immune to ground attacks. This means Landorus can't really damage my Cobalion because I'm expecting it to either carry rocks, U-turn, Earthquake, which like all won't hurt Cobalion at all, or a move with rock coverage to hit Golbat potentially, or even the knockoff, it can run potentially as well, and knockoff will only give me an attack boost and get rid of my item, but like it's also a resisted hit, so that's really cool. And I also have the Swords Dance because even though Landorus will intimidate me, I can boost up my attack. Also, if Umbreon is some crazy curse set, I can also boost up alongside that and beat it. I run dual stabs because it's unresisted versus his entire team, and it's pretty strong overall. If I get enough chip on Pokemon's, let's say Suicune, let's say the Drodigan if it comes, and one other mon would need to be chipped a little bit. I think it was the Infernape. Then this Pokemon can just completely sweep his team. I'm also running an Alkaberry, and this is because if he does end up being a Scarf Landorus and I click the Magnet Rise, he can damage me. So he has to U-turn, and if he wants to take the gamble and go to Infernape and risk a speed tie, which you think will be a speed tie because I'm actually invested in bulk and not max speed, his best play is to click a fire move. It was a tough call in the preparation because fighting move or a fire move will both be able to potentially take out Cobalion. But because I'm running so many Pokemon that resist fighting type attacks, I think fire type attack will be his best play, and that is why I have Alkaberry to potentially take this hit really well actually, because it helps the damage and take out Infernape. And if once Infernape is gone, this Cobalion really has a free game because yeah, it is faster than everything else it has to potentially worry about. The next Pokemon I am bringing Chandelure, and this is one other Pokemon that will try to cripple Umbreon. If Umbreon is brought, I'm thinking that it will be more so designed to take on Latios and my Chandelure. And I'm running a Scarf Chandelure with the Will-O-Wisp, Dual Step, and Prick. I have the Will-O-Wisp because it's really great to burn Umbreon as well, because the foul play damage won't be able to Tweet KO Latios at that stage. It also chips away at his health, so that's really good. And just burning my opponents in general is really effective. I also have the Trick, and that is to potentially cripple the Umbreon in locking it in the remove. So it has to either attack or either heal. It can't do both anymore at the same time, so it has to switch out each time, and it is really pressured, and that's just really annoying for him. Trick will also work on the Suicune. Suicune is also a scary Pokemon, even though I do have a Latios that will always deal with it. Being able to trick Suicune and basically make it unable for him to set up and attack me is really good. Shadow Ball is extremely spammable versus his roster. His only resist is the Umbreon, and once that Umbreon is crippled, it will be really tough for him to take on my Chandelure. Flamethrower is also pretty nice in order to take on, yeah, I think it was mainly for Roserade and to do a little bit more damage to Landorus if needed. Then we have the Mega Venusaur, which is a really defensive invested bulky Venusaur. Why? Because I do have a Florges. I am expecting his Mega Gardevoir to rely on Psyshock in breaking Mega Venusaur, and with the amount of defensive investment I have, which is like almost maxed out, like I do have a ton, Psyshock will do about 60% of Mega Venusaur. Together with Leech Seed and Synthesis, which I have, I can basically stall out Mega Gardevoir a little bit. And of course, I also have the Sludge Bomb and Giga Drain respectively. Sludge Bomb is just mainly because I do need to hit and damage the Mega Gardevoir, especially if it is a Calm Mind variant. I definitely do need to get the damage out. And Giga Drain is more so to be able to deal with Suicune. Leech Seed in general is great for Chip on his team, and it will always help me beat the Suicune, even if it is a Calm Mind variant. And last but not least, we have a Golbat. And Golbat will help me take on the Landorus Tyrion, take on the Infernape, take on the Umbreon, take on the Bronzong. It will do a lot. It will also neutralize the Suicune because I'm running the Taunt, which is really effective. Roost and Defog. Defog is mainly because if he does bring the Roserade, Mega Venusaur is a free switch, and if he tries to hazard stack me, I do want to have the Defog on deck, and U-turn is just because I get slow momentum out of it. So that's the team. That's what we are going to bring versus Advent. And now let's hop into the battle itself. So let me just quickly remove the layout here. And now you see the battle. You see that he decided to bring Fernape, Dredigan, Mega Gardevoir, Bronzong, Suicune, Landorus Terran. Almost what I expected. The Dredigan kind of caught me off guard. I was fully expecting either the Aerodactyl or the Umbreon to come to take on Chandelure better, but I guess Dredigan can do this as well. What I also am thinking is that I need to chip on his team. If I am able to chip on certain Pokemons, this Mamoswine set or this Cobalion set can really put in the work. Also, Latios really looks spammable because the Umbreon is in fact not there. So, for league matchups, I was thinking that it doesn't really matter with what Pokemon he leads. If he leads with the Infernape, if he leads with the Druddigon, if he leads with Bronzong, even Mega Gardevoir, like pretty much every Pokemon, Mega Venusaur is able to 1v1, and I really would like to get my Mega up as soon as possible because it will really make a difference in taking hits when I swap this Pokemon in. If it's unmegad, Earthquake will do a lot more from Landorus, and also I will be prone to the Fire Step to Infernape, and if I Mega Evolve, I will get the ability Big Fat, which will make it a neutral attack. So that's my play. I lead with the Mega Venusaur, and you will see that he leads actually with his Suicune. Now this is amazing for me. Why? Because obviously, yeah, you see it right there. Suicune is forced out versus Mega Venusaur. There's no way any variant of Suicune will stay in. Unless he tries to run Mirror Code, I guess. But my safest play was always to launch the lead sheets here and try to get chip on whatever Pokemon he wanted to bring. He wanted to bring in Bronzong, which is fine by me. It kind of screams I'm setting Stealth Rocks. But yeah, Bronzong was definitely one of the pokes that needed to be chipped, just because if it was a defensive, like I'm expecting it more so to be his Latios switch in at this point, considering the Umbreon is not here. If it for some reason is the fully defensive set, in order to take on Mamoswine, I need a little bit more chip on it before the knockoff can actually take out the Bronzong. So I'm really happy with this. Here I am making my switch to Chandelure because if he wants to set up Stealth Rocks, that's fine by me. If he anticipates me to think that and go Golbat to defog the rocks right away, and he makes an offensive switch in Mega Gardevoir, I lose a Pokemon. I cannot have that happen. So I have my Chandelure out. It will also pressure the Mega Gardevoir if it decides to come in. He actually makes a switch himself, so he anticipates me to switch. And I'm not really sure what switch he was expecting, but if he was expecting Chandelure and Druddigon is that jack to it, well played, man. So this Chandelure is in right now versus Druddigon, and Druddigon is also an option for him to set Stealth Rocks with. And considering I need to chip this Pokemon down for Cobalion, I need damage on it, but I also would like to cripple it a little bit. I decide to actually launch my Will-O-Wisp because whatever Pokemon that wants to come in, if he wants to double into Suicune for some reason, or if he wants to make a different kind of play, like going to Mega Gardevoir expecting a trick or something like that, will be very risky, but you never know. I want to burn something, and this is really good because you see he actually wants to attack me, and when it's attack his health, the Earthquake damage will do not that much to my Chandelure. It has little to no bulk this week, so to see it can't even 2-hit KO Chandelure at this point, it's really nice. Well, obviously I'm choice Scarfed, so I'm locked into Will-O-Wisp, so it is in my best interest to switch out, and yeah, that is exactly what I'm going to do. And you see, I'll go switching out into my Golbat because I'm expecting him to click rocks, as he does, and he continues to get chipped away by the burn. My best play is to defog these hazards away, regardless what he wants to do. He is indeed the annoying glare set like we expected in the preparation if it does show up. This is fine because Golbat really didn't need its speed. If anything, this helped me to take the gyro ball hits better from the Bronzong. And yeah, with Golbat being paralyzed, it's kind of annoying, but like if one has to be paralyzed, it would definitely be Golbat. Since I am packing the defog and I am really bulking, plus he is burned, I really think he has no business staying in here, and he has more value out of this turn by switching out than spamming rocks, which he does because I was actually. But he doesn't, so I go for U-turn and try to get momentum, but yeah, it doesn't work really, it doesn't work out that well. I go into my Latios, and Latios doesn't have a Dragon move. He doesn't know that, so like, I can't kill this Druddigon at this point, but he will know that, so he will switch out for sure. I will probably go into the Bronzong, and I'll just go back to my Golbat, seeing that as a free opportunity to defog the rocks away. As you see, he does go into Bronzong, and this is for me a pretty free opportunity to defog the hazards away. Well, like I said, Mega Gardevoir claims a kill each time it comes in, and yeah, this is no different situation. Even though my Golbat is crippled at this point, considering the Druddigon is still at a good amount of health and the Bronzong also as well, I don't want to lose my remover right now. I think it is valuable enough for me to still have removal later. I'm also kind of expecting him to click Hyper Voice on this turn because Psyshock is really obvious, and even though I do not have the best of responses to that as well, I could potentially try and dance around his moves a little bit by going Latios or Cobalion and then make a switch into my Chandelure. But I'm just going to straight away because I don't want them to take unnecessary damage. And Chandelure is at a decent amount of health, so if he wants to go for the Hyper Voice, I would still be able to take this on. He actually shows to be Substitute, and by doubling into Chandelure, it's actually pretty great because Chandelure has the Infiltrator ability. I'm not running it this week, but it will definitely scare him out, or so I thought, and he actually stays in. So he risks his Gardevoir on this turn, but yeah, he doesn't have anything to worry about because I'm not Infiltrator. I'm actually Flame Body to try and catch the U-turning Pokemon like Landorus or the attacking Pokemon like Bronzong and try to have them burned because I really want everything burned on his team. Yeah, I'm Break the Substitute and he's able to kill my Chandelure. I'm not happy to take this trade, but Chandelure was kind of the most understandable Pokemon. I don't need speed control that much because Aerodactyl isn't there, and I do have different ways of taking on his faster Pokemon, so I was good with this trade. Switching my Cobalion because it's obviously the Pokemon that pressures him the most, and Ironhead is an easy KO. And this turn, you don't really see it, but this turn actually took a bit longer than I expected. I was really debating on do I set up already and try to really open his team with the Cobalion, making it easier for my Mamoswine or Latios or even Mega Venusaur to clean house later again. But I was also like, if he expects me to set up and just attacked with his Mega Gardevoir right now, I can potentially be really put in a really tough spot. So I thought my best play would just be attack what is in front of me, and I do just that. He goes into his Landress, he takes a lot of damage, so he shows me to be an offensive one like we expected. I'm still expecting this to be Choice Scarf. If this is not Choice Scarf, I could easily go Magnetize and probably wall this Landress, but since I'm expecting it to be Choice Scarf, it doesn't really matter if he goes for the U-turn or the Earthquake on this turn. I think Mega Venusaur covered each play because he can't really make a switch that beats Venusaur. Yes, Mega Gardevoir will be able to damage it really hard, but I will be able to kill the Mega Gardevoir in return with Sludge Bomb, and that's a trade I will be more than happy to make, because the Mega Gardevoir is the biggest threat to my team and will claim a kill each time it comes in, and my Mega Venusaur can still recover up very easily versus the Bronzong and the Suicune if it gets it. So that's my play. I go into Mega Venusaur as he actually shows to be a setup variant, so he's not Choice Scarf. And this is kind of scary because Landorus can't run Z-moves, but it can still run the move Fly. So even in prep I thought about that, and I wanted to run Protect on my Mega Venusaur, but I thought that Leech Seed ultimately would be the better call, but in this case it would also be very helpful to have the Protect here. What I'm going to do here is scout for Power Herb Fly or some kind of flying boosting item. I don't want to lose my Mega Venusaur just yet, or at all actually. So I'm going to make my switch into the Golbat, because Golbat is the least expendable Pokemon at this stage. I don't really care if it dies at this point. Like, I much rather have the potential of hazards going up and me not being able to remove them than lose my fucking Mega Venusaur, which practically 1v1s his entire team. So sacking Golbat was easily my play, as he actually misses the Fly, which was really unfortunate. It was kind of good for me, but it was like whatever. I was trying to sack it anyway, and all this does is give me an extra set later in the game. I try to get momentum out of this turn, which is easily my best play, and I U-turn and I get in my and at this stage he basically has to pick a Pokemon. I was really expecting him to sack the Druddigon at this point, but yeah, as you see, the Bronzong is his dedicated switch, and he lets me take like half damage on his Bronzong, which was really nice. I definitely like seeing this Pokemon chipped, but on the other hand, I also didn't want to kill it because Bronzong was my best way to activate Mamoswine, even though it can also get activated by Suicune's Scald, but then I risk the potential to get burned, and I rather avoid that. I rather set up in front of the Bronzong. So that's not ideal, but on the other hand, claiming him kill is really nice, and he really does not have any responses left to the Mega Gardevoir bar potentially Scarfed Infernape with U-turn. He protects and he gets more leftovers back, which means he is out of range of a Shadow Ball, and I don't want to take a large amount of damage of Shadow Ball plus Life Orb Recall, so I just go into my Bronzong, even if he in my Golbat, my bad. Even if he tries to set rocks, I can just spam Defog. If he brings in Mega Gardevoir, I'm just going to sack my Golbat. Like, it's whatever at this point. But yeah, as you guys will see, he packs the coverage. It probably helps him dealing with my Mega Venusaur. But yeah, this poor Golbat gets kind of revenge hexed. Like, the Landorus missed his Fly, and now I get fully paralyzed, so I basically lose my Golbat without me being able to grab momentum with U-turn again. So like, it's whatever. I'm bringing in my Mamoswine, which is like, it's super obvious that something is not wrong. Something is not right. For like Bronzong is like one of the better checks on his roster to Mamoswine. Yeah, I bring this Mamoswine in, basically saying like, hello, I'm going to do something to you. He needs this Bronzong still for the Latios, so my best play probably would have been to click knockoff. But I really wanted to hope he choked and let me get a really good boost off. As I curse, I basically show off what kind of set I am, and he brings in the Suicune. I think it was in my best interest to save my Mamoswine still and just go into either Mega Venusaur or Latios and try to 1v1 this Suicune, and I do not need any damage on my Mamoswine just yet, and that is what I do. I go into my Mega Venusaur and I try to predict his Mega Gardevoir coming, and I click Sludge Bomb, because if I click Leech Seed or Giga Drain, my Gardevoir is able to take that and basically claim yet another kill. So I kind of don't want that, so I click the Sludge Bomb. He protects, and now I'm expecting him to go into Bronzong, so I click the Leech Seed. Which is okay actually, because team builder video, team builder part, sorry. With Leech Seed and Synthesis, I am actually able to take on Mega Gardevoir pretty nicely. And considering this Gardevoir already showed the substitute, I did not really want it. So I just stayed in with Mega Venusaur. I knew I could take the hit. He actually tried to take advantage on me and goes for the substitute. Now with the Leech Seed, this is really nice because whatever damage he does, I can just synthesis it up right, and basically that's just what's going to happen. This Mega Gardevoir is neutralized, which is great. Like, his best way to kill Mega Venusaur is now down. He brings in the Landorus again, which is, not gonna lie, it's really scary. What I'm going to do is click the Leech Seed because I would like some chip on it, and with some chip I'm able to 1v1 this Pokemon better with Cobalion after, because I know it can take a hit. With this Pokemon being seeded, even if he goes for the fly, even in the air, he will still take damage with the Leech Seed. And I'm actually going to make a very interesting play. I know he is Earthquake Fly, right? And he has I do not think that he has anything really for my Latios or wants to click that right now. And I'm expecting him to go for the fly. And that's basically just 3 health for my Latios right now. And now I'm going to pull the switch on my Cobalion knowing it can take a hit because it's more bulky invested. Now, I don't want to say it's really bulky, but it has some investment over the max speed. Like I told you guys before, I'm not max speed tying with Infernip. I'm a bit bulkier, and I can take this hit. And with a little Leech Seed recovery, I am at don't want to say decent amount of health, but I'm healthy enough to take out this Landorus, and even if he wants to swap into his Druddigon, I am able to 1v1 this Pokemon as well, even with Corrupt. So that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to trade my Druddigon, my Cobalion for his Druddigon. I don't want him to set up rocks or hazards on me, and I don't really need Cobalion that much anymore, especially considering it is at such a low amount of HP. I'll bring in the Latios as he brings in the Infernape, so that was really fortunate for me. Even if he decided to bring in the Bronzong, I would still be able to go into Mega Venusaur or Mamoswine and take advantage of it slowly but surely. He actually wants to go in Infernape and try to apply the pressure. And yeah, if it's a Scarp Infernape, he will U-turn out right here. But knowing that it is not a Scarf Landorus, I am able to basically recover up versus anything but the Bronzong. But yeah, since I'm expecting this to be the Scarfer and U-turn, I'm clicking Calm Mind, because after a Calm Mind boost I am most likely able to take out the Bronzong. But he actually shows that he is not choice carved, or he doesn't want to reveal it, and he goes into Landress and he just sacks it to my Ladi. I take a little bit of recall of the life orb, but that's completely fine. Here I'm like, okay, this is a really good chance on my end to take out the Bronzong, but as you guys will see, it is able to hang on, not with a lot of health, but it is able to hang on, and it will severely damage my Latios. I still am able to get one life orb hit out of it, and I decided, do I waste it here potentially on the Bronzong, or do I preserve it? And I think my best play was preserving the Latios, because if Suicune later in the game comes in and sets up and potentially kills Mamoswine, let's say it kills Mamoswine, I can roost back up at a good amount of health and basically still 1v1 the Suicune still. So I think Latios still viable, even though it's only at 12%. So what I'm going to do is swap out into Mega Venusaur. This Bronzong is a really low amount of health, so Mega Venusaur has an easier time 1v1ing this. It won't take ages with the lead sheet slowly but surely chipping away on this Pokemon. He tries to get more HP by protecting and lefties, which is clever. But yeah, in the end, the Bronzong is still going to lose to the Mega Venusaur. I can just easily synthesis and chip him down with the lead sheet. And yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. He tries to damage me, and I just heal up constantly, and here finish him off with a Giga Drain, because he is at such low HP. Now he brings in the Infernape, obviously his only play, because any Suicune loses, well, Suicune just loses to my Mega Venusaur. I don't want to choke and swap out, I want to damage him. And I basically, since I am so defensively invested, I know this Mega Venusaur can take any hit this Infernape will throw at me, considering he can't have a Z Crystal. So even if he Flare Blitzes, I can... Well, it is actually a roll with Flare Blitz, but if he happens to kill me, he dies of recoil, because I have also max HP basically. So that's really good on my end, but he shows to be a Fire Punch, probably with Iron Fist, and that's not enough damage to take me out, and I am able to take him out. And his last Pokemon is the Suicune. Suicune versus Mega Venusaur, that is always a winning matchup for my Mega Venusaur, so I'm just going to synthesis up as he Calm Minds, and I am going to chip him down with the Lead Sheet, Recovery, and Giga Drain. And since you can see his moves here, Scald, Protect, Calm Mind, it is very likely that it is either holding the Toxic or the Substitute and not holding the rest. So it is not a rest Sleep Talk variant. That is potentially the only Suicune that can be annoying for Mega Venusaur, but yeah, we're all good here. And he realizes this as well, and this is Evan is going to forfeit. And we are going to clutch our week 2 win 3-0. So GG's to Evan. I was really happy to play you, and I am sure you will bounce back, as I've seen you make finals multiple times. And yeah, this is basically the end of the video, guys. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll check you guys next time.